Hello everyone, this is Greg Wartko, Editor-in-Chief of Yard & Garden and GreenIndustryPros.com. Thank you for joining us for our 4-part series of web briefings featuring Bob Clements, the green industry's most highly regarded business trainer of high-performance dealerships. Our exclusive sponsor for the series is Ideal Computer Systems. Ideal's business management software provides you with the most comprehensive, industry-specific solution on the market. Ideal invests its research and development based on dealer feedback to help you gain full control of your inventory, service department, customer service, pricing, purchasing, bookkeeping, and overall business management. To learn how Ideal can provide you with a complete solution that meets your specific needs, call 1-800-737-1620 or visit www.idealkit.com/YG. And here we go with part 1 of our series, Shifting Gears. But here we are at the midway point in the year, and you got some advice for dealers who need to think about switching gears in some areas. What do you think?
Well, we do. And, one of the things that I'm really working on, and my team are working on with dealers now, is to get them to, number one, catch their breath a little bit from the season, but understand that we've still got a lot of work to do, because now we're trying to get ourselves positioned for this slower time that we know is going to come up. It comes up every year, Greg, and I'm fairly confident it's going to come up again this year,
Sure.
too. So we're really saying, let's take a look at our total dealership, and let's start positioning ourselves in parts, in service, and in whole goods, so that when we come to that point where we're done with the season and everything's finished up, we're in a good place to set ourselves up for the 2013 season.
Very good. And let's start looking at inventory levels. I think you have some advice there because, like I said, spring sprung real early, but I'm sure there's a lot of dealers who got some inventory still sitting. What's your advice for dealers there?
Well, it's always with whole goods, and this is always a little challenge I have with most dealers, because I tell all of my dealers this is the time of year that we've got to go ahead and blow our whole goods out. We've got to get rid of them, get them off of our lot. I don't want to carry them through. I don't want to have to pack them up and bring them back out. So this is the time now where we need to be saying, okay, what do I need to do? Who do I need to call? How much do I need to discount to go ahead and move what whole goods I still have in stock off of my lot, so I can position myself with my vendors when I get ready to buy for this coming year, and I can be pretty well clean of everything out there.
Mm-hmm.
Greg, one of the challenges I think a lot of dealers have is that they have a hard time having sold a zero-turn mower to a customer in the springtime that was $800 more than what they're going to sell right now, that same mower, to maybe another potential customer out there who has waited and really is at the end of the season now. And I tell all my dealers that retailing is what it is, and that's what all retailers do. When we get close to the end of the season, if you're a clothes retailer and you're getting ready to go out of the winter season,
sure.
Everything starts getting discounted, and they don't. And the manufacturer, but the retailers don't get caught up in the price at that point. Their primary goal is to get it out of inventory. So I would encourage all the dealers out there now to kind of rethink your pricing strategy, discount what you think you need to discount. Your primary goal here is just to get it off of your lot and get it out of there. Put up a big banner, year-end closeout, special pricing, make us an offer, do something like that to generate some excitement and to get the rest of that whole goods you've got on your lot moved out, so we're not paying interest on it as we go into this next year.
Yeah, great points. What do you think about parts? Kind of the same thing, or do you got a little different twist on the parts department and the parts inventory?
Yeah, parts are a little different in that, what we're trying to do in the parts side of the business at this particular time of year is to make sure that we're really bleeding down our parts inventory to where it's no more than 30% of what our peak season inventory was. So as an example, Greg, let's say you got $500,000 of inventory that you're carrying in parts at peak season.
Mm-hmm.
I would really expect my parts manager to have that kind of sold off to where we're maybe at about $150,000 at this particular time of year, or at least getting close to that.
Okay.
So most of my manufacturers, most of my dealers, they've got their business management software, and they've got mins and maxes set in it for their inventory level buying, and now they should be switching it over to the other season so that they can start reducing that and getting that inventory down.
Very good. And what about in service? I guess a lot of dealers I talk to, they kind of measure the success of their service department by how many days their spring backlog is.
Well, no, hopefully my dealers aren't doing that. So, I know a lot of guys take pride in being 2 or 3 weeks behind. I think it's an atrocity that you've got a service department that's far behind. Right. So again, a lot of them have been behind, and their service departments haven't been profitable, and they got wiry ornery technicians they're working with. And really, this time of year there's a couple of things that I look at in the service department. Number one is the first thing I do is I look at my staff, and I say, do I really want to carry everybody through the slow season? Number one, if I got a technician that all during the season was ornery and nasty and had a bad attitude and hated people and hated customers and hated you, then my question to any dealer would be why would you want to continue to carry that person, number one, into next year? But for heaven's sakes, let's don't carry them through the slow season and then fire them the next year. So the first thing I would do in my service department, again, is I would really take a moment and evaluate my personnel and saying, is this really the people that I want to move into 2013? So I look at it from a personnel standpoint. That's hard for dealers to do, but it is something that needs to be done. Then the next thing we have to start doing is we got to be looking at the slow season, because we know it's going to happen. I don't care what part of the country you're in, everybody has a slow season at some point. And we got to be thinking about, our winter service specials. If you're up in the Northeast and you're doing snow throwers, now's a good time to be thinking about how do we get those snow throwers in for early service. And if you're not in the snow area, we're going to wait a little bit, but we still want to make sure that we've got a good winter service package that's attractive, so that we could get equipment in during that slow time, so that our shop can be a profit center for our dealership, and that we're not eating into our cash flow or our line of credit as we go through it. So great time to be looking at those things. And I tell all my dealers, you really want to have all that stuff set up in advance. You don't want to wait until January in 2013 to be thinking about, gosh, what are we going to do for our winter service special? Now's the time to get those things laid out. If you're going to do postcards, if you're going to do calls, whatever you're going to do, now's the time to be doing that and getting yourself set up for that.
Great advice. Great advice for dealers this time of year. We're kind of coming down the downward half of the hill here for 2012, but there's a lot of important things, as you've outlined, dealers should be doing in their dealerships right now, and we can't thank you enough for making time for us, Bob. We look forward to having you back in another week or so. We're going to talk about selling and negotiation, I believe, so we look forward to that one.
Great, thanks. Looking forward to that.
Okay, take care.